In this video, we're going to do something a little different. We're not going to do any FreeCAD today. We're going to actually look at creating a laser engraving using Inkscape. And the reason I'm using FreeCAD is because FreeCAD is not the best tool to do this. So I'm going to show you how to create this sign. And we're going to take this sign and we are going to put it on Lightburn and laser engrave it and see how that looks. So let's get started. So we're going to start out in Inkscape, and this is my Inkscape blank page. Doesn't matter what size the page is right now because we'll resize it in a bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to start out by drawing a circle. So I select this circle tool and I just drag out a circle. You can see my circle is actually a gray color. I'm going to use the control key. I'm going to hold down the control key so that makes that circle round. And there it is. Then I'm going to press shift and I'm going to press the black color just to make my outline black. And then I'm going to press just the red X on its own, which will get rid of any background color that's on there. I'm going to go back to my select arrow. I'm just going to select this guy so I can move it. I'll put it in the middle of the page for now. And let's say that's our size there. It's selected. I'm going to go edit. And I'm going to say resize page to selection. What that does is just makes the page size a bit smaller. And only because I like to work in that, it doesn't really matter. The page size is not important because we're going to export this as a PNG eventually. So as part of our engraving, what we wanted to have is some text, and we want to have some stars, and we want to have a couple of beer mugs. So what we can do is we can start out by creating a beer mug, just a freehand sketch. And I'm going to zoom in. To zoom in is a control and roll the mouse, and that zooms me in. And I'm going to just draw a beer mug. So I'm just going to freehand it. I'm actually going to do it with a couple of dots here, holding down the shift. The shift will help me. Sorry, I'm holding down the control because the control will help me to get stuck on a direction. So that'll keep it nice and horizontal. And then I'm just going to do another little horizontal line this way. Going to go down vertically. I'm holding the control so it keeps it straight. And a little stubby little cup. I'm just doing a couple of little lines there. I'm actually going to go over and just join that over there, and we can resize it here in a minute. So once you draw something like that, it has a path. If you go to this edit the path nodes, I can go in here and I can edit these nodes. So I can take this node and move it over, this node and move it over. And I want my cup to have a little bit of a shape to it. You can do that just by, I'm just clicking on the line, and then I just drag that line, and I can drag that point. I can drag this line out a little bit, give my cup a little bit of shape. A lot of cups are just straight, but I'm doing it with a little bit of something in it just to give us a little bit of shape to it. Nothing too exciting. I just want it to look sort of not so boring, I guess. Run those up there. Just bring that outwards. I want it to bow out a little bit, just to give it a little bit of something. Give this a little bit of something. Again, I'm just freehanding this because it's just a cup. I'm not trying to design a cup. I'm not trying to make a cup. I'm not trying to make a perfect cup. I'm just making a cup. And then I'm just going to make a handle. I'll do the handle separately. So the handle's going to go like this, this, up here. Handles sort of go like that. And again, I'm not doing anything exact here. I'm just making a handle. I'm actually going to go to the selection tool. I'm going to pop it over on the side there. Then I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and then I'm going to edit the nodes so I can line them up. Just going to line those up onto the cup itself. And again, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to give it a little bit of curvature in my handle. Yeah, make it like something you'd want to grab a hold of. So tiny bends. Just to sort of give it some interest of a shape, like we sketched it. Then I'm going to put some, I think I'm a little bit wide there, so what I might do is just, I might grab this side here, and actually maybe I'll grab that tool and just bring it in a little bit like this, till I get my height to width ratio a bit better. I'm going to go back here, and I've got a little bit of a pointy bit there. I don't like that, so I'm going to make that more of a radius. Oh, I've grabbed one of these handles there. I don't want to do that. Just grab that point. Grab that piece. Grab that point a little bit. Grab that piece. There we go. Maybe do the same on that side. I just don't want it to be too jaggedy. There we go. That looks good. My little cup's got a little belly to it. And you can spend time doing the cup however you want to do the cup. Perfectly fine. And then I'm going to just do some, actually I'm going to do them with these lines. I'm going to do a, just give my cup a little bit of texture. And do one here. I'll do another one here. I'm not even holding the control down on this. I'm just doing it freehand, because I want it to look a little bit less than perfect. So I'll just go into here, again, control, and roll my mouse wheel just to zoom in. And I'll just give this a little bit of a bend. Nothing too exact. Going to bring this one up a little bit, because it's a little too far down. Maybe make it a little thinner. Give it a little bend. And then we'll do the same with this one. Let's bring it up to roughly that same height. Give it a little curve. Again, we're just trying to make it look like it's a sketch, which it is, but it's, we want it to look cool. So, yeah, I just wanted that to go up a little bit. So, that would be my cup. And then we're going to put some kind of froth on the top of the cup. So we can now, if I like that cup, I can just make that all one cup. So I can select that, and I just go up to my object and group, and now my cup will respond like a cup. And then to do sort of a froth, we can use either this. There's lots of ways to do this. We can do this with a B-spline, and we can just maybe like this. Oh, I think I did not get that one to properly attach there. So now we have some froth. And all I did is I used, when I went into here, I used this create a B-spline instead of just creating a regular Bezier path. And then I can still edit the path, so I can go in here and I can modify all this, or I can select it this way, and I can actually move that path and just drop it on top there. So now it looks a little bit like some froth. And if I fill it, if I give it a white fill, that takes the top. And then I can do the same thing again, as I can select all of this. And I can say Object and Group. Now if I click it again, when it's selected like that, I get the rotation handle, so I can actually rotate it. And I'm going to go back this way because I want to make it a little smaller. And then if I want to color something, I can select that. Actually, I'm going to have to ungroup it if I want to just color. Actually, it's not worth coloring it because the colors are not going to come out in the laser engraving, so we're not going to bother with that. Let's get another one of these cups. So we'll copy it. You just go over here and you use this copy feature. And then we're going to flip that copy. And then we're just going to pull it over here. We'll line it up. So they sort of line up, one in front of the other. Actually, I don't mind them like that. Now I'm going to join those together, put them in a group. So now it's all one piece that I can move around. And what I'll do is I'll take this piece and I'll hold down Shift and I'll select that piece. Then with my alignment selected relative to the last thing I selected, I'll hit that and it'll put this right in the middle of there. So there's my two cups. And then I'm going to put in some text. So I'm actually going to put in cheers. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do here's. Why am I doing here's? Because I'm going to do the C bigger on its own. And I don't want to do it all as one piece of text. So by doing this, I can either create my text bigger like this. If I do that, I have to pull this out like that. Or I can go here, and I can actually just pull it out this way. Now, if I want to make the lines thicker, what I can do is if I press Shift and press black, that gives me my outline. Then I can go to my fill and stroke tool, to my stroke style, and I can literally create thicker lines. And then I can put my cheers over here. I think we're going to go a bit bigger than that. We'll just tuck it around wherever we want it. Then I'm going to do the C so that we can line everything up. The C I'm just going to do over here. I'm going to do it with the C. We'll make that as big as it goes. There's my C. And I'm going to Shift and black. I'm going to make that even thicker. I don't want it to fill all the way in if I can help it. And I'm going to go here. I can actually drag that even bigger. Drop it over here somewhere. And then I want this to be a little bit bigger. So I'm literally just stretching the text. I'm going to drop it right in there. And maybe I'll stretch it this way so it reaches all the way across. Then we want 3 stars in. Something I just noticed is I want to take this and change its stroke. I want to make it a bit darker. There we go. And then I'm going to drop in 3 stars. So I'm going to put in a big star over here. Actually, we can break them out the circle on this one, why not? And a second star, and then a smaller star. So there's my 3 stars. We'll do the same thing for them. We'll make them a bit thicker till we get to a size that we like. And there we have it. That's something like what we want. I'm not all that happy with these cups yet, but we'll see. Those a little lower. Going to move my text down a little bit, I think. going to select them both. So if you hold Shift and select the other one, they're both selected, and I can move them together like that. I kind of like that. I'm going to go with that. And one thing I would like to do is I'm going to select this C, and then I'm going to do a copy. And I'm going to make that copy white for its outline. So I'm holding Shift down. So I've got my Shift down, you can see it there. And I hit white, so the outline is white. And then I'm just going to hit white one more time. So now the whole thing is white. So the fill and the outline are both white. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this stroke thicker. So I'm going to make it this thick. Maybe this thick. Then I'm going to push it down in the stack until my black one appears. So what happens then is, if you look here, it's outlining my C. And then I'm going to take this circle. I'm actually going to make that thicker too. So I like that better. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to make the outline white. I'm going to make the fill white. Then I'm going to make it thicker. About 3 is what I found works quite well. And then drop it down the stack. And there you have the outline for that. And I'm going to select everything. I'm just going to resize my page to that selection. So now you can see it's breaking through. And I can do the same thing with this star, so I might do that as well. So we're going to copy that. And we're going to make that white fill and white outline. And we're going to increase its width. Bring that up to 3. Drop it down the stack one more time. And there we have our breaks in our line. All works quite nicely. And that is how we draw the sign. So now I'm going to save this. I'm going to call it Cheers 2. And then, I'm just going to select that one a second. That's 891, 191, 131. I think this one needs to go a bit thicker. There we go. That'll do. Okay, so now we have it. I am going to do one more resize because I can see my star is off the edge right there. So I'm just going to resize it. There we go. And then I'm going to select everything. And I'm going to export it. So we go File, Export. And I'm going to export it to a PNG. It's called Cheers 2. It's going in my Pictures directory. And I'm going to make it 100 DPI because I just think that looks a bit better. Going to export. And now we have the file. We're going to go into Lightburn. Here's the one that I had already done, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this one. In fact, I'll start a new file. Now my acrylic that I'm going to put this on is actually 134 millimeters square. So what we're going to do is I'm going to draw that square. So if I want it to be 134 millimeters by 134, I was lucky. I actually drew it 134. So I'm going to drop that right into the corner there. So that's the size of my acrylic. And I'm going to make that, it's not an output layer, so it's on layer 2. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say File, Import. and I'm going to import my Cheers 2. And I'm going to resize this just by grabbing that corner, bring it into the middle. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger because I want to fill this whole space if I can. I think that looks pretty good. So we're going to go with that. And now finally what we need to do is we select that and we go into the tools and we say trace image. And you can see it's traced it quite nicely. Say OK. And now I have a traced image. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this traced image and I'm going to move it down to my engrave layer. And I don't want it to be fill, I want it to be line. And that is going to be output. And then from here, I need to make sure I've got acrylic, light engrave. I'm going to assign that. It wants to fill it. I don't want to fill it. I want to line it. And I'm going to do a preview. And there it is. So that would be the laser engraving for the second one. I'm actually going to do the real one I'm going to do will be the one I had on the screen. So let's save this one as Cheers 2. Then I'm going to open Cheers 1. And this is the one I'm going to do. And we'll do a quick preview of that one. And you can see on this one I have it on fill, so it's a little bit thicker. This is the one I think I want to do. So this is the Cheers 2. And there it is. So one thing we might do with this is I might mirror this. So I'll flip it around. Let's have a quick look. Where's my flip? There it is. Flip it around, and then I can put it onto the back of the engraving. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to open the original one. I'll flip that one too. So it's just simply flipping it there. And then save that. And now they're ready to burn. So with Lightburn, you pretty much, as long as whatever's on the screen is what's going to burn. You just have to set up your piece in the laser engraver, and then we're off to the races. So this one we're going to do on the Monport laser. So we're going to, I'll turn you sideways here. So we're going to turn that guy on, get her up and running. And we are going to we're actually going to engrave it into this acrylic. If you look here, we're just going to remove the top layer of that. And then we're going to start it running in the laser, so hang fire. So what I've done is I've used my 3D printed positioning piece and put this acrylic into the laser. And then what we're going to do is we are going to cut or engrave this picture into this acrylic, and then I'll show you it actually fits on a lighted base, so I'll show you that. It's gonna it actually lights up, looks pretty cool. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna use the Monport. Use the Monport one more time. So this is the Monport laser. Fantastic piece of equipment, and it's one of those pieces where because I can close it in, the smell's not going to be too bad. It's got an extractor on it. I'll close that lid. We'll be able to watch it go through there. Once I choose my port, it zeroes the laser, and we're ready to hit run. If everything's set, and we'll run it and we'll watch it. So here we go, we're set. Gonna hit the start button, and there it goes, it's cutting. And of course with this Monport you can see the smoke. It's quite smelly, this acrylic. And it is laser engraving the acrylic. I'm actually engraving it on the back so that everything is reversed. That's what we did in Lightburn. So you can see it cutting. Maybe I'll speed this part up so you can see it a little quicker. Here's what the Monport output looks like. You can see it firing as it goes and cuts that picture. And you can see the temperature gauges. That tells me the temperature for the power and for the water actually in the laser. So everything's nice and cool. It's working well. And if we had any problems, there's an emergency stop. It's a very nice unit. It's completely enclosed. The lid's shut. The extraction's working. I can't smell anything, to be honest. And basically the system is running. And with this unit, the setup is very, very simple. I use Lightburn. I bought that immediately. I started doing laser engraving because it genuinely is the easiest way to get things done. But this system, once you plug Lightburn in and you set it going, you immediately start making products, and very easily. It's very little difficulty in getting it to go and getting it to run. And these acrylic sheets, they cut very well with this laser, this CO2 laser. It cuts them nice and deep, nice and clear, and makes a fantastic pattern on there. So there's my beer glasses getting ready to be done. Remember, this is the original one that I did. This isn't the one I did in the video. This is the one I did before that. I just like this one better. They're both equally fun. I think you could use either one. And certainly if you want to make one of these, I'd be more than happy to make the Inkscape file available to you. If you just leave me a comment, let me know if that's something you want, and I'll put it somewhere where you guys can download it. Now this is a little departure from our normal FreeCAD our FreeCAD videos, but laser engraving doesn't require CAD. It's a lot more inclined towards artistic stuff, and I'm not very artistic, I'll be honest, but you can create some designs fairly quickly, fairly easily using Inkscape. And I've used Inkscape for a while. I don't pretend to be an expert at it, but I can get by enough to create what I need to create. So you can see here, this is a shot of my screen. So you can see the progress in Lightburn. We're about 50% the way there now, and this is where we are in terms of the actual engraving. Look here. So we almost got our cups done. Then we'll be doing the text. And I hope you guys are enjoying the laser engraving stuff as much as the FreeCAD stuff. I think it's all fun. It's all maker. It's all adventures in creation, as it were. I am really enjoying using the laser engraver, but I can't wait to get my CNC back up and running. I've been working on it, but it's been a little bit of a struggle to get time to put against it. I don't think it's going to be hard once I can get the time. It just takes a little while to get organized here. So, of course, I'll have that up and running soon, and once we do, we can do some videos with the CNC as well. But for now, we're going to do laser, a Monport laser, and then we'll do the other laser next. We're going to do another video with that, and in the meantime, we'll intersperse some FreeCAD videos too. So it's all going to be fun, loads to do. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to the channel, because there's loads more coming, loads of different stuff. Of course, we do stuff with Inkscape and with Blender and FreeCAD and all of the tools that you need to be a maker and to create stuff. We don't want to limit ourselves, but of course we love FreeCAD and specialize in that because my roots are actually in CAD and CAD design. So here comes the text. You can see it starting. Looks like it's coming out quite well. Once the text is done, then we have a couple of stars, finish up that circle, and we'll be complete. So we're about 12 minutes from the finish now. I'm not going to make you watch every single step of it. Here you can see the lettering's almost done, and we're just moving along at a good pace. As you can see by my temperatures, I'm not getting too hot. As I said, it's a little cooler this evening, so nothing's getting crazy. It's working hard. We're going to end up with a nice cool situation as we're finished. What I usually do is I leave the pump running for a little bit, just let it cool down a little bit, but in this case I don't even think we need to do that. We're about 3 minutes to go. You can see the stars are almost done, and once it finishes those, then it just has to do the rest of the circle, and we are finished. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video just as much as I have. I like using the laser stuff to create stuff. That little guy's going to sit on my table outside and light up the evening. I'm sure we'll enjoy it for a long time to come. Those little bases have LED lights in them, so you can change the colors and match whatever it is you have outside. So, as I said, if you're interested in those, you can certainly contact me. I can help you to get one. You can I'll help you to get the file so you can create your own if you have a laser engraver. If you want me to make one for you, we can come to some kind of arrangement for that too. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you like these laser engraving videos, let me know that too, because always that's interesting. And if you're not already subscribed, give us a subscribe to the channel. We are growing, but we're growing slowly. So if you would subscribe, a lot of people watch, but they don't subscribe. And I'd appreciate it if you did. Other than that, I will see you in the next video.